Hey, what's going on? It's the Hangover recovery stream. Damn, my fucking eyebrow was weird as hell just now. Sometimes I wake up or uh, hit my face and my eyebrows be crazy. Uh, had a really interesting weekend. We went to a campground at a brewery, which was a very cool place, Devil's Backbone Campground, which is completely surrounded by breweries, cideries, wineries, and all kinds of other shit. Basically, it's alcoholic mecca up in the hills of Virginia. It's between Charlottesville and Shenandoah Valley. And, you know, we had a great time camping out the first night, hanging out the next day. We did a long ass stream during the day, and if you watched that stream, you might have noticed we're getting pretty drunk by the end of that stream. We were fucking messed up by the end of the afternoon yesterday. So, yeah, I ended up injuring myself a couple of times. Cut my finger while trying to, like, crush a can. Like, I just grabbed it really stupidly, put my finger, like, on the rim of the can and crushed it. And then later on, while trying to hold open, there was like at the campground this water spigot, and you had to open up the top, like this big heavy lid on this thing to use the spigot. And I was doing it by myself, and I thought I had the lid, situated in place, but as I'm doing the thing, it falls and lands on my arm. And so now my arm is it's fucked up in multiple ways. Moshi Moshi Nino, what's going on? I'm combating the hangover. I got the hair of the dog that bit me right here in the form of Blue Toad hard cider. This might be my favorite cider place. My favorite cider I've had. Anonymous comes in BRB going to Publix. You can just bring it with you, can't you? This is a phone stream. You can just leave. I don't know if you have in your car the little. Maybe you're not taking a car. Either way, you know, in my car I use a little thing that you hook onto the air conditioner, that holds the phone in place. So you could have the stream open on that while you drive around. Yeah, Blue Toad hard cider was really good. We were literally there. Like our stream yesterday ended with us walking from Devil's Backbone Brewery campground directly across the street to this Blue Toad cider place. There was some cows in between. I had the stream muted for a while we were inside the building, but then we streamed from like behind it. And it was just this gorgeous location, and I think my phone was dying, so I ended the stream right after that. And Bert had to carry a case. We got a massive case of these ciders because they were selling them in a way where it was something like $40 for like fucking 30, something, maybe even more than 30. There's 5 rows. Fuck no, it's like 4 cans per row and 6 rows, so 24 ciders for $40 or something like that of these tall cans. And so we were like, well shit, we'll be stocked up on cider for a minute if we get these. And we did, and he carried it all the way back to camp. Like 10-minute walk. And then we got real, we were just real smashed by the time we got back. Then we ended up eating at the Devil's Backbone restaurant that they had there, which was really good. The food was fucking excellent. Everything about that place was excellent. The people who worked there were excellent. We ended up having a conversation with the people who were running like a couple of the shops. Like 2 of the shop owners were just hanging out, outside the restaurant as we were leaving. And we had encountered each of them because we bought stuff at their stores, so we had a conversation with them, and that was nice. Seemed like an interesting area, interesting place to live or be from. It is just practically nothing but breweries, wineries, cideries, meaderies, places that, sell collections of stuff from all around that area. What's up, Trixie? How's your day going? It's going all right. I mean, it's been sort of a workhorse kind of a day, you know. I guess it's a real Monday. We got up hungover from yesterday. Showered. There was some really nice showers at the Devil's Backbone Campground, just all around. One of the better campgrounds we've gone to. I think it's $30 a night, which is on the pricier end of what we will usually ever go for. But considering the level of the amenities and the fact that our tent was 5-minute walk from a entire brewery complex, it's hard to say that that wasn't worth $30. Now, granted, we spent all the rest of the money that we had being there, getting too excited, drinking way too much, and eating. Well, you know, the food lasted us all day today as well, but it was not cheap. So that's why I'm live streaming now, trying to make some money here in the afternoon, try to make back what I spent yesterday at Devil's Backbone. Where I once more have lived above my means, and like a degenerate, and so now I must pay for it by somehow getting you to pay for it through rant requests. Yo, I've been watching for years. Says Blurred Lights. I'll be hungover with you soon. Oh well, I'm pissed broke. No problem. It's all good. Shit, I probably don't have monetization on this stream right now because it, for some reason, is not set on by default with the fucking vertical streams, and I always forget to do it. I'm sure I can't alter this while I'm going, so fuck it. I'll turn it on after the stream is over. But it's okay, we'll all have money one day, or we'll be dead. But I'm gonna try my best. Whoa, I don't even know what type of money this is. Rishab Tripath. There's no message, just a sticker that says, hey you, and it's 40... Are those like Russian... I don't know what that is. It's just like it looks like an R, but it's cut off. I cannot tell what type of money that is. Rupees? Okay. Cool. Thank you. That might be the first time I've actually gotten rupees as a donation. Indian rupees. Indian rupees. Okay, I understand. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever gotten Indian rupees as a super chat before, so thanks. I've never seen that symbol. That's cool. I do not know how to pronounce your username though, so I'm sorry if I butchered it, because before you said that they were Indian rupees, I assumed it was like an RPG name, because when I saw Tripathy, it made me think of Octopath Traveler mixed with Triangle Strategy, both games from the same people. I thought it was like a cross-reference of those two things, as opposed to Hylian rupees. Indeed. Hylian rupees, I do believe, are named after Indian rupees. Just like a name he thought was cool. I don't remember where Zenny comes from. Like, I don't think that was invented by Dragon Ball. I think that's also, like, somewhere's actual currency, but that for some reason is the currency of Dragon Ball. I heard that shit with an F, and I felt concerned. Could wish it. I'm not sure what we were talking about. Trixie Uniting Nations. I'm bringing the whole world together. Your Tripathy's pronunciation felt like some alternate medicine. Tripathy. Side effects may include Octopath Traveler. Man, the names for those have gotten so fucking weird. I had really been, when I'm not around my parents, I never see television at all. Like, I'm not somebody who ever watches TV. Bird doesn't watch TV, you know, he watches tons of stuff on his phone through, like, Netflix or Amazon or whatever, or just through, you know, streaming sites. But, like, my parents and my granddad watch a lot of television, and when I'm passing by it, I just catch bits and pieces of the advertising and the types of shows that are on, and I'm always just like blown away by the state of things. Particularly when it comes to the medicines, like the names have gotten so goofy, and what they are for is so particular. It's like, and some of them are like, okay, I understand that you need something for that, and some of them are like, this was this a problem that a lot of people had? Like that you're advertising on television a whole goofy named, and they always have like a stupid jingle to go with it too, trying to sell you on remembering that crazy name, but you'll never remember it if it's not something you need. Hello Trixie, really enjoyed the Drake beef video. I'd love to see you explore more stuff like that. Sending love from Florida. Hey, thank you. I will talk a bit more about that. In one of the streams the other day, the last one where I was on the back porch, I talked about the BBL Drizzy, like the whole remix, the whole beat giveaway contest and everything, and I am planning to edit that into its own video because the Kendrick and Drake video has continued getting views, so I figure I might as well do another stream highlight of that nature. But I forgot when I did that to actually explain my own bars on my version of the song, because something I want to get into on this channel is lyrical analysis of hip-hop. I've done a tiny bit of it before. I did a video about TV on 10 once by Aesop Rock on a different channel, but I want to get more into it because I want my audience that is somewhat curious about hip-hop but doesn't really understand it or doesn't really get what they're looking for, just want to give them an easier time, and particularly with my own music, where it's like, there are some people who maybe wouldn't be interested in it unless they understood what the fuck I'm talking about in the bars. So for instance, in my BBL Drizzy verse, my cipher, mine is called Drake Hate Capital VA Beach. And the reason for that is that Pusha T comes from Virginia Beach. He was the person who revealed Drake's child to the world back in like 2017, 2018, and was the first person to beat Drake in a beef like this. I'm the Weeb to Hip Hop pipeline. I mean, beyond the existence of Samurai Champloo and, the whole... There's a lot of crossover that's happened because of Nujabes having worked with a lot of Western artists, and when he died and his discography became something that was uploaded onto the internet, and people who were into Samurai Champloo were discovering all the rest of his music. They discovered a lot of these other rappers, a lot of guys from DC and stuff who I mostly know a lot of this because of the fact that they put on a whole show about hip-hop's influence within anime culture at Otakon like 4 or 5 years ago or something like that. So to me, yeah, there is already a Weeb to hip-hop pipeline, but there is kind of... I'm more so going for the analysis personality to hip-hop pipeline. Because to me, like, hip-hop is inherently analytical. It's a reverse engineer analytical thing, right? Where, like, if you've been watching all these videos that break down the bars in the Kendrick and Drake rap beef, like, a lot of what Kendrick is doing is analyzing Drake. But he's doing it in a way where he's using phrases that can be interpreted so many different ways that it requires analysis to really break down what he's saying. And because he's not dropping a bar and then going into an explanation of what that bar means within the song. The expectation is that people are going to analyze this, or they're just going to understand it because they've been keeping up with the situation. In my case, there is so little, like, crossover between my music and the mainstream audience of hip-hop that, like, even if I put out, like, my Drake diss would make sense to people who understand the situation of Drake's career, but it won't make sense to people who are just fans of me, who maybe like my music but have never listened to Drake or kept up with this beef or know anything that's going on, So in consideration of that, I start off my verse by saying, I'm from Virginia Beach, a home best known for knocking Drizzy in the teeth. Again, because Pusha T. Uh, no fans listening, but we like to get our freak on, or get your freak on, is what I say in the verse. And it's because in Kendrick's verse, he keeps going in his song, Not Like Us, he keeps calling Drake freaky. He keeps going in on him being a freak. And personally, I represent freak power. I have a song called Freak Power. That's the name of Hunter Thompson's political movement from the 70s when he was trying to run for like the sheriff of Aspen, Colorado. And I sort of have inherited that ideology of freak power. But also, one of my first favorite hip hop songs, one of the first ones from somebody from this area that I grew up with, is Get Your Freak On by Missy Elliott. So this is a reference to Missy Elliott being from Hampton Roads. She's not specifically from Virginia Beach, but I'm just repping this whole kind of area and my own influences that are from this area, and talking about, even though there's no fans, like what Kendrick calls Drake in his song, listening, we do like to be freaky, but not the way Drake's freaky. What's the next line of my song? I'm thinking about it. Oh, I believe I reference Pharrell next. Shit, I'm trying to remember the actual bars. Thank God for editing when I actually cut this into a clip. I'm from Virginia Beach, a home that's known for knocking Drizzy in the teeth. No fans listening, but we like to get your freak on. It's been too long since I listened to this. It's been a couple of days. I'm going to answer this other super chat and then get back to this. Ripe Disease with $5 says, it's too bad you and Monkey fell out. I'd love to see you reconnect and for you to pick up the old podcast. I don't think there are any hard feelings. I have no idea. I don't know how Monkey feels personally. I would be interested because I think we can make a lot of money doing it. I think we would have to make sure that we had a clear pay structure in place. Like we'd have to make sure it would be a business venture. It would not just be strictly for fun. In the first time we did it, it was a little bit of both. Like, we were trying to make money off of it, and we did do the bonus episodes for sale, but like, we weren't pushing it as like a serious thing. But the reason that I'm interested is that there is like a specific audience that has never shut the fuck up about that show. It was only like 22 episodes long, and there is a crowd that has been begging me to bring that shit back for however long it's been. So, if you want to put it out to Monkey that I'd be interested in this, if we can find, what we really need is like a sponsor, like more so than the two of us figuring out how to make money. We need like Dick Masterson to figure out how we will make money doing it. Like, I need somebody who's going to help me figure out how to run a podcast, because I can't be in the pilot seat of that, and I don't think Monkey would want to be in the pilot seat of that. So, Shamanite with $2, another try. Hey, you finally got it to work. Thank God. From my perspective, I'm very happy. Favorite animals and experiences with them. Cows are my favorite. As we drive across the country, I always moo at all the cows that I see. I get really excited about cows. You could see this happen on literally yesterday's live stream when we unexpectedly encountered cows, and I was freaking out because we were pretty close by. But yeah, like, seeing cows in real life, always adorable, always nice. But the cows that you see on the internet, the cows that are like influencer cows, the fucking cute little Highland cows and miniature cows and shit, those little fluffy guys. Next level. Absolutely next level. I think otters are really fucking adorable. The only famous otters I know are Kana and Kotaro and Hana. Kotaro and Hana, yeah, they're Japanese otters taken care of by this couple that just like has them in their house. And you know, those are like my favorite animals to just like see, you know, just like, ah, yes, otter content, ah, yes, cow content, I'm down, I want to see the cows. Bird is generally a big time animal lover, so I am sort of inundated with cute animals and cool animal stuff and animal videos all the time, so it's hard for me to like, beyond like the ones that are my absolute top tier, being cows and otters. Like if I were to try to start getting into every animal I like, it's like, well, fuck, I've been introduced to like hundreds of animals that are cool, so, you know, we'll stick with cows. Um, any experience I have with a cow is a good one. All right. I'm real quick I'm gonna open up. This might cause my audio to go blank for a second, but I'm gonna open up my lyrics sheet real quick. Okay. I opened up. I had a photo of my lyrics. So I the next bar. Well, I'll go back through the bars we've done so far. I'm just gonna restart this explanation of my bars. All right. So I was really tripping up on them a moment ago. But you know what? I've got another super chat, so we'll give that another moment. Uh, Ripen Disease with $5 says, it makes me happy to hear you say that. I think Monkey would be very open to it. He already hosts a few podcasts and seems to be his main focus. Yeah, I could see it happening. I mean, it would. I don't know. I guess we'd probably just try to do it exactly the same way as before. Um, you know, Mumkey and I think, are both probably still the types of people who will just start up a call, do a show for 2 hours, and then stop the call, and you know, the show, we just have a show, and it is what it is. We'd probably want to do it live so that we could do a super chat reaction segment the same way that you know, every other show does it. All right. I actually lost my place in photos because if you close your camera app on the fucking iPhone, it doesn't save your place and where you were in your camera roll. So anyway, the next lyric was something in the water and it's glistening upon your face right before the thing displaces it into the pond. This is a reference to Something in the Water being the festival that Pharrell puts on as of just like 2 or 3 years ago here in Virginia Beach, because he's from Virginia Beach. Pharrell is somebody who Drake has called out in this whole beef. You know, there's a bar from Kendrick about how he says, I don't like how you said that about Pharrell. So yeah, there's glistening upon your face, pause. All of my bars are pause bars. I'm gonna let you know that right now. I don't know if you're new to the channel, but I am the most LGBT rapper that there has been that is not Cakes to Killa. Shout out Cakes to Killa. But they're all pause bars. But yeah, something in the water and it's glistening upon your face right before the thing displaces it into the pond, implying that whatever it was in the water, you know, the thing usually refers to a gun. But in this case, I didn't want to be specific because the lyric is the festival is something in the water. So whatever that thing is, displaces your face, as in to remove it from your head, into the pond. The pond, of course, being in this case the Atlantic Ocean upon which Virginia Beach sits. So, yeah, that's those lyrics. And then after that, I just kind of say, I do not much care for Drake's voice. Always thought he sounded like a fuckboy, which is true. Like, when I think Drake, I immediately think, working for the weekend like usual. It's just like, he's so nasally, whiny, little fuckboy sounding, you know? And, there's been a couple of songs where I think his voice works, but I think it's mostly because the production is built around the tone of his voice. Like, what's most unique about Drake is that he's pushed up so high into the high range of the mix. What's up? It's Bird.
I saw you're starting a podcast with Monkey Jones. Congratulations.
Oh, I don't know if that's
I'm
actually
just
gonna
joking.
happen. But
No, I just came out to give you a hug.
okay, do you wanna plop down? You wanna say
It's
hello?
cold out here.
It is kind of cold. That's why I got the jacket.
I'll sit here and say hello.
But yeah, me saying
Hello.
that Drake kind of sounds like a fuckboy is basically just just facts. There's not much.
He's always sounded like a fuck.
Nothing deeper to it. You know, some shit just cringeworthy. It ain't even gotta be deep, I guess.
Is that Prof?
That's Kendrick Lamar in Euphoria.
I see. I haven't heard that song.
That's the one where he says he doesn't want to hear Drake say the N-word because it's just cringe.
It is.
So.
But don't worry, DJ Academics has let us know Drake is still cooking.
Oh yeah.
He's in the studio with a goofy ass outfit.
Was that supposed to be the studio? He looks the photo is Drake literally backed into a corner and like wrapped up all the way.
He's got like
clothes.
a balaclava on.
It's like, well, this is an.
Someone's called it a baklava.
Like, I don't know if this is supposed to look insecure, but it's like you're supposed to be like, oh, I'm backed up into the corner. I'm all the way under wraps. But I'm cooking it and I'm gonna explode back out. I don't know if that's supposed to be the vibes, but it just kind of looks like.
Is he under wraps?
Are you hiding?
Because
Like
Kendrick buried him in bars.
Yeah. Yeah, he really did take Drake's N-word pass and gave it to his son. Told his son, who is lighter skinned than Drake, that he was a black man, but does not consider Drake the same way. That's pretty fucking cold. Yeah, oh god, I keep trying to remember the lyrics to my. Oh, now that you're here, you could just play. You could play my. Go to my channel and go to the shorts. And just play the the BBL Drizzy version I've got. You don't gotta leave it playing. You can just pause it. I just need to read the lyrics on screen because I have forgotten them all. In the very short time it's been since the only couple of days it's been since I wrote, recorded, created. All right, let me see.
Does not cut very well.
No, it looks like shit on your phone. What the hell? All right. I'm from Virginia Beach, a home best known for knocking Drizzy in the teeth. No fans listening, though we like to get your freak on. Something in the water when it's glistening upon your face right before the thing displaces it into the pond. We've been over these lyrics. I am none too fond of Drake's voice. Always thought he sounded like a fuckboy. We just did that. Honestly rejoiced when Kenny pounded him into the void. Which he looks like he is still in the void, considering he's all fucking covered up all but his eyes.
Cozy
In that goddamn photo. I have no idea how Drizzy wasn't way more paranoid. Like, this guy seems like a paranoid dude. It's wild to me that he didn't think that something worse was going to happen to him, considering how few people seem to be on his side at all. Wild to me. I think he just assumed he would automatically win because he's more popular, like he would just have the bigger #1 songs, and therefore he would consider himself the victor. But
that hasn't happened.
He got stomped in that regard, so... Alright, my next bar is, overjoyed to see hip-hop alive and well. This is me partially referring because Questlove said hip-hop is dead over this beef. Meanwhile, though, hip-hop is the most talked about it's ever been. It's had a comeback after
Why is hip-hop
a year
dead
of...
because of this beef?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
This
Can you
is
tell
like
me
the
who
tamest...
Questlove is? Sorry.
I can't really,
Okay.
but he's a guy who, whenever he says things about the state of things, they get reported on.
Oh,
One of
okay.
those types of people. So his stance was hip hop is dead. My stance, hip hop clearly alive and well. And I really think the BBL Drizzy freestyle is like it pumps so much life in so many rappers. I've literally discovered and followed rappers. I talked about this in my other coverage, but like that I am now following because of this. So as far as I'm concerned, that is nothing but life being pumped into hip hop.
I discovered a random pop singer from an impoverished country, I think, the other day. Or maybe he's a refugee or something, just through YouTube shorts. It's pretty fun. His name's Monrovia, I think.
Was it based on BBL Drizzy or just
No, it's just YouTube shorts randomly recommending me, or maybe it was Facebook, but just randomly recommending me like some guy who is trying to make happy music.
Overwhelmed to see the health pour from the wellspring. again, just like I can't actually believe how healthy hip hop is, like how much it's getting talked about. It's still happening. People are still making videos, including me right now,
Oh my
about
God.
this goddamn beef. You know, a hydrant for a hot spring, a hydrant popped. Wait. A hydrant for a hot spring, a tyrant popped and propped up in a sling. It's hard to read these because of the way they're formatted in this YouTube video. Unfortunately, I did this badly. Well, yeah, a hydrant for a hot spring, referring to how, you know, if it's really hot outside, which it was on the days these songs are happening. It's kind of cold now, but, you know, the idea of letting off a fire hydrant to cool the block down. And, but also, I just thought it was fun to imagine, like, a literal hot spring, because I'm talking about a wellspring, you know? So, I'm basically describing this as both a hot spring and a hydrant for a hot spring, because our tyrant's been taken down. So that kind of takes heat off of everybody else to have this, you know, this bad person removed. A tyrant popped and propped up in a sling, K-Dot offering. And it makes you want to sing "Bomb the fucking music industry," because, you know, the whole industry has basically existed to prop up Drake up until this point. And it's like, if you taking out Drake is essentially taking out the music industry as it stands. At least that's the way Kendrick is pitching it through his songs, you know. That wasn't the end of that song, by the way. There's a whole second verse. I just had to scroll further.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I like having my phone.
Oh, I can't remember how it goes. Oh, no, I do. I have always been ruthless, and to me, Drizzy always looked toothless. Undercover, I'm sure all the proof is that that the image he creates of aloofness is a means of disguising the truth, which is a danger to everyone's youth, missed by a media protecting cool shits we are done with and ready to smooth gist, like a surgery to remove boobs if on the inside you know you're a dude when in the mirror you don't see your truth. Then shit, I can't remember the next bar. Something, be your true self, fucking, and don't let the colonizers fuck with you. That's basically the lyrics. I don't think that any of those bars really needs to be explained in more depth. I'm being pretty direct in all that. You know, it's like, you're gonna deflate the industry like a trans man deflating their tits. That's the main gist of it. So anyway, yeah, that's my BBL Drizzy. I'm going to cut this into the explanation of the broader trend and make that its own video, cutting between the two live streams I've talked about this in, since I forgot to do that before. I'm going to put out some, like, nerdcore bars explained videos about some of my songs. Because I have some verses I just feel like I deserve credit for that nobody understands, and I need the world to you've got to feel me, you've got to feel me.
I am feeling you. I'm touching you right now.
We're being felt. We are felt.
No, that guy I was talking about, his name's Monrovia, and he was rescued from the civil war in Liberia.
Liberia. I don't even
Now
honestly know where
he probably
Liberia
lives in the
is.
Appalachians, based off of.
Where is Liberia?
I mean, it's a pretty safe guess to say Africa.
Yes, but is that the one next to Morocco?
I don't know.
No, it's way down south.
Oh, there's a city in Liberia called
Monrovia.
Monrovia, which is his name also.
Yeah, okay. It's down in the foresty part, near the equator, but not like all the way deep in the jungle type equator.
It's on like the little bit of Africa that juts out, you know, when it gets bigger. There's the little tail bit at the bottom, and then it goes out.
I'm gonna catch up on some stuff I missed here in chat. People saying,
Heard.
I hate his voice too. I got right. Kendrick went Super Saiyan 2 and punched the rapper out of him. That's pretty funny. Hi, Bird.
Hello.
Says Lilith.
Lilith? Is that Lilith?
I don't know, it just says Lilith. The bird heard the word. The entire mid 2000s to 2020 pop bubble can go to hell, more or less. I mean, I've never been like massively into pop music in general. It tends to take like, well, I don't know. There's usually like a couple of hit songs I like every year, but it's pretty random even who they are by. You know, like it's not even very consistent that a pop artist is gonna make songs I like. You know, uh, like someone like The Weeknd, he's always with different writers, so it's a total crapshoot. Like, is this gonna be a song I like, or is this just gonna be generic shit I have to hear a billion times on the radio?
Shit. This the felt thing that someone in chat recommended. It's Murs and Slug.
Oh, I haven't heard that, but I would definitely listen to that. Murs, Slug, Aesop
Who's
Rock.
Rosie Perez?
I don't know. I have always hated Drake on some basic principled level, like I have no horse in this race, but as long as I can remember, I have never gotten the hype for him. Yeah. It was a struggle for me up until Hotline Bling. That to me was the first like real legitimate smash pop single, and even then I think I had to hear it like a number of times before I started to be like, all right, I like Hotline Bling, you know. But like, I can't credit that to Drake. It's like it's a clearly designed song, you know. Like it's not like Drake sat down and wrote Hotline Bling, you know, in the way that Kendrick sat down and wrote fucking Dying of Thirst, you know. Uh, I used to watch your anime videos in 2016. Today, suddenly, I got recommended to this live. I'm really happy to see you. Yeah, this happens to people all the time, and I just have to tell them that there's a channel called We Watch Anime where I do anime analysis content. We also had a podcast on there. It's not active right now, but we talked about all of the new anime that was coming out for most of last year. So, you know, there has been anime coverage, but a lot of people don't know about it because it's not on this channel anymore, and this channel's videos get pushed to the most random smattering of my subscribers every time they come out. It's actually crazy how random it is. Drake's flow is really, Drake is the name. Kendrick is really lame. I go to college to get more knowledge. Kendrick goes to Jupiter to get more stupider.
Jesus Christ.
Lamar, more like
Lamar, I saw that one.
Hey, I got another super chat from Noblesse Oblige with $5. Do you ever look back fondly on any of the RadCons in spite of everything that happened since? No, because none of them were good experiences in the first place. Is the
Damn.
maybe I'm trying to remember. The first one was probably fine, but that was a shorter thing. So like, RadCon 2 was fucking hellish. RadCon 3 was hellish in its own ways. RadCon 4 was hellish in its own ways. So none of them were really good experiences in the first place. It was the content that we cared about, like making interesting content and hanging out with one another. But those two things often clashed with each other and made it all very stressful and difficult. And like, you know, the first one that we did, there were no expectations. There was no money involved. We just took the money we would have all spent on going to BronyCon again, and we all just met at my house instead. And we did whatever ideas we had for stuff that we thought we could do together if we all got together in one place. Because we had met at BronyCon a couple of times, but we couldn't make anything there. You know, we were just at a convention, meeting with fans and stuff. And generally, we'd have like a big crowd of people around that maybe we didn't want all of those people around us all of the time when we're hanging out, you know? So I was like, let's do a thing at my house. So we built a whole set, and, you know, we did the first 3 episodes of The Plebe and the Weeb, which was just an idea that just mainly the idea had been born from Jesse just making the opening song. Like, he had just made it like a year earlier or something. Just, this would be a funny name for a show that you and I would do called The Plebe and the Weeb, where we review anime like half in the bag, but it's got this goofy song. And I was like, that song is so good, that show needs to exist. The main thing we were trying to do was the lecture. You know, Ben's big fucking Sonichu lecture, which I originally wanted us to have, like, desks for and stuff, but I could not figure out where to go to buy desks. I thought that would be a lot easier to do. I always had bigger ideas than what I was ever able to actualize when it came to these types of things, which is part of the stress in and of itself.
You have
But,
too
like,
big ideas. You got such a big head, it's hard to get all those ideas out of your mouth.
It's
Because
true.
they fit in your head, but they won't fit coming out of your mouth.
That's true. I got too small of a mouth for how huge my fucking head is. You'd think there'd be more,
Big ass head.
more mouth space and all that. I'm literally in the like 99th percentile of biggest heads as an infant or something.
Do you know
according to
that?
My mom, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, so RadCon 1, you know, we did the lecture. A big part of it was like, because Munchie wasn't there for RadCon 1. And I don't think Devu was either. I think Devu moved in for RadCon 2. So it was like, with RadCon 1, it was just people we had already, you know, we'd all already hung out at BronyCon. We were just hanging out at my house doing some content. And it was stress-free and mostly fun, from what I remember. But then, the problem was, if we were only ever going to do
What
this...
that mouth do? Sorry. Bird is cool if he knows who Gift of Gab is, by the way. Yeah, I love Gift of Gab. Thanks for telling me I have a good eye for hip-hop. I don't listen to it that much.
That's not true. You just don't listen to it, like, disproportionately as more of, like, you listen to the same couple hip-hop songs, but that's because you listen to the same, like, 100 songs every day for, like, a month or two, you know? And then, like, slowly shift new songs in. So I guess it just depends on if, like, if it's a time where Shonen Heart is in the rotation, it's like I'm listening to hip-hop every day, you know? What?
No, just what you said just now is funny.
You just had a delayed laugh. I thought you were reading something.
No, I was trying to figure out. I don't remember mentioning Gift of Gab, even though I do know who they are and have listened to them.
Was it someone on that album that you were
Murs,
looking at?
maybe?
The Murs album?
Yeah, no, Murs. Yeah, no. Gift of Gab is like a guy. He's like a singular guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do like him.
Oh,
okay, Black Delicious. That's how I know who Gift of Gab is, and also the R.A. the Rugged Man in the Afro song. Anyway, sorry.
Shit, I forgot what the thing I was ranting about.
Remember more.
Oh yeah, the RadCons, and whether or not I look back fondly on them. RadCon 2 was like one of the most stressful fucking times of my life, and a big part of that is, so in all of it's my fault, and it's there's stress I'm still bearing from the mistakes I made at RadCon 2, because my thinking was basically it's going to take us a whole year to be able to get together and make something again. What if we were able to do it in 6 months instead? And if we fan funded it, we'd be able to buy all the plane tickets, get everybody together, and we'll just promise to do more of what we did the first time, you know, because people seem to like that stuff. So, you know, I slapped together the Kickstarter campaign based on what I thought would be possible, based on, like, the amount of time we were going to have, and, you know, if it worked out like the first RadCon. I've overpromised in a lot of ways. I misunderstood things, like I didn't know that you need like a specific device to burn Blu-rays, or
You
that you
didn't
need
know that until after we got together, man.
or that you
Like,
need specific programs, or even that you need a really strong computer that can even run the thing. So I've never gotten into a position to actually finish the Blu-rays from back then. Like, even somebody bought me a thing that could burn Blu-rays, and my computer could not handle using it.
So buy her a new computer. No, really. I already did that.
So yeah, like the maybe the Alien.
Our
could do
laptops?
it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Maybe. There's no way mine could. Mine fucking overheats while I'm rendering video, and I have to like restart it before I start rendering. Anyway, yeah. So I way overpromised with RadCon 2, and then a big part of it was, again, Devu moved in at this time. Ben also moved in at this time. Devu and Ben were kind of clashing a little bit at first, and it wasn't clear if that was going to be like a big friction, like if we'd all fucked up by moving in together, you know? So my parents had moved out of the house and left me and Victor and Shade, and Shade had his girlfriend, and they had their own room. Victor was living in like the middle of the house, and he soon moved out and moved in with Hope. Not long after this, so it was me, Ben, Devu, each in our own rooms, and Shade and his girlfriend in their own room, and like, you know, it. After RadCon 2, honestly, it was mostly very peaceful. We rarely ran into issues, but the issues we did run into ended up being kind of a big deal, and you know, hurt our relationships all around. But like RadCon 2, like a big part of it was that, you know, I had promised 2 whole seasons of The Plebe and the Weed. I hadn't really run it by Jesse, like, what the plans were. I had just kind of, like, written the Kickstarter, sent it to him, been like, is this cool? And he said yes, and then I printed it, you know? Like, I don't think he realized I was just going to, like, hit send, you know, as soon as he said yes. And he hadn't really processed what it was. And he was going through all kinds of other shit in his life, so he wasn't even sure if he wanted to show up. And he showed up a few days late, and I'm sitting there like literally sweating bullets. Like, are we like even going to do this show? Like, is he even going to be here? The whole recording process was a fucking nightmare. I mean, you could, if I know that there are people who are backers who literally have access to the videos of us watching the shows, where like nobody wants to pay attention, you know, nobody really wants to be reviewing these shitty anime, because some of them were stuff that, like, we had people who spent an amount they could request a show that we would cover. All of them were fucking dog shit, so it was stuff that we did not want to talk about or watch. The conversations themselves were boring, and the show is only funny because Jesse spent months and months editing it to make it funny, you know? So, like, just all around, RadCon 2 is a nightmare. There's a clip I don't think ever got published because Victor was filming a behind-the-scenes documentary the whole time, and I think 2 parts of it came out, but the 3rd one got corrupted and never did. And there's a part where he's interviewing me, and I'm just like chain smoking in the backyard and talking about how I'm the most stressed I've ever fucking been, because ultimately it all fell on me as the one who had, you know, been organizing it. And so even though, you know, there were certain failures and I never even got the Blu-rays made, eventually, because of the fact that Nate and Gibbon really wanted to have another RadCon, and they were like, look, I don't think we should all be punished for the fact that you fucked up on this. So they ran the next Kickstarter, and I basically had no involvement. I just let them do all the planning and everything. But I was also unwilling at the time
Someone punched Steve Buscemi in the face.
Oh yeah, I saw something about this. I don't know why.
Sorry.
It's very random and odd. I don't know why you would do that to Steve Buscemi.
Because he doesn't tip.
Oh yeah, maybe that is what it is. But yeah, so like RadCon 3, you know, they set it all up to be at this Airbnb in Boston, and we were planning to, like, me and May were, I didn't want to spend a week without her. I did not want to travel and you know, spend a whole week at this Airbnb with all these dudes and be without my basically new girlfriend, you know, I think we might have been engaged at that point.
Jeez, that was a mistake.
Yeah, but this is when we were planning
anyway,
to...
I'm gonna go to bed. Sorry.
Okay, alright.
I love you too.
Have a good sleep.
I'll see you later.
Yeah, I ended up paying for a hotel for a week so that she could stay in a hotel, and I could, like, drive to and from the hotel to stay with her and then do the show. And so I basically spent a lot of money on doing it at all. That, you know, that obviously nobody agreed to compensate me for any of that, and not that they should have, but that's just, I wasn't willing to do it without bringing her along. So that presented a whole bunch of stress in and of itself. She ended up being more stressed than she thought she would be about just, like, you know, basically hanging out in a hotel for a week. You know, occasionally, like maybe a couple of times did I bring anybody, like, with me to go get dinner with her or something, or bring her to the actual place, you know, but we were trying to keep it very content focused, so it was kind of like, you know, no bringing your girlfriend in kind of thing. So yeah, RadCon 3 was stressful. It was neat because the Airbnb was cool, like that house was cool. I feel like we made some fun stuff there, but I also like we didn't make anything that was as like pointed and like memorable as the stuff from Radcon 2. Like it was very chaotic. You know, I feel like well, we had stuff that was like the fucking 10 Paces and Draw show that's like very creative and fun. You know, I think it played well to people who are fans of the PCP, but as like something for an audience, it basically is like a trash version of something that would be good if like we knew what we were doing. Whereas like the lecture is exactly perfect as it is, and that's why we kept doing those. We did a ton of lectures at Radcon 3 and 4. Those aren't like, they're not exactly fun to do. You know, it is literally a 3-hour lecture. You know, fighting dissociation to listen to someone talk about some nerdy shit you can't possibly care about for 3 hours. But you know, at least most of them were pretty funny. Some of them were really good. Some of them are just good because the subject matter is interesting, you know, or just how crazy the actual stories are of the stuff we're talking about. But you know, I would say it was always meant to be one part chill with friends, one part business venture, and again, those two things were constantly counteracting, and like everybody having their own ideas about what would be good content or what the vibe of it should be, you know? So it just ended up being total chaos. Radcon 4 was also very chaotic. That was when I was like, I knew I had to transition because like the feelings were really starting to get to me, but I was not there yet. Like Radcon 3 was right before I transitioned. And so to me, pretty much everything from, Redcon 4 was right before I transitioned. So everything from that, I immediately just wanted nothing to do with. You know, like the second I transitioned, I was like, I hate that any of that happened. And that was really the last time that I saw anyone besides Nate and Jesse. Because Jess and I did another Plebe of the Weeb season the week immediately following Radcon 4, none of which ended up being really viable. And then, Nate and I did Cantent for a while. But that's the last work I did with anybody in the PCP, I think. I have seen Munchie once since then. He came to my house. But we didn't really have anything interesting to talk about. And I think we watched Hereditary together, and it was a huge mistake because it freaked me the fuck out. And I just got real quiet. Animorphs lecture, I do remember being Kino. Noblesse Oblige with $2 says thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the double down. It was kind of a long rant, but I wanted to get it all my feelings and all those out there. It's been long enough. I feel pretty beyond, like I don't really care, you know? But yeah, Radcon 1 was the only one that wasn't nightmarishly stressful for me personally. I don't know how everybody else felt about them. You know. But I also think that some of the other members of the group were just closer friends online than I was. Where, like, I pretty much always have been very, like, business-oriented when it comes to talking to people, especially through the internet. Like, I don't chill on Discord like that, you know? I don't, like, spend a lot of time. And back then we had a group chat, so it's like we did all communicate through that on sort of a daily basis, but everyone else had more close relationships between each other where they would like play video games together or talk to each other in Minecraft and stuff like that. And so I think, you know, that even though I considered them to be some of my closest friends, I just didn't have any close friends, you know? Like, they were closer with one another because they spent more time together, whereas I didn't spend that much time with anybody comparatively, you know? So seeing my mom close the blinds and the windows. It is getting dark, but I've got me little lantern here to give me this creepy, ghostly glow. It's funny to think about that, actually, that I, despite having been associated with the PCP for so long and talking to them through chat or through through calls and obviously doing the weekly show, like, because it was always so performative and job focused, like, yeah, I never really got that close with any of them as friends. The closest would be Nate and Jesse, like, who I went to their house and, like, actually hung out with them. But even then, we spent most of that time making content. And I was always a very awkward person in general, you know? Riley and Mintz are much more of people I'm, like, actually friends with, like, aside from being content creators and that we make stuff together. And we do put a lot of focus on that when we're together, because we're both of the same mentality that, like, I want to be spending my time working. I want to be doing projects. You know, it's cool that I have a friend I can do the kinds of projects I want to do with, you know? But, like, those are also people who I've just spent a ton of time with. You know, I've lived with them for at least a cumulative year, you know, like, of being around them every day. So, like, my relationship to them, even though it's less, I guess, publicized as part of my career than the PCP had been, is actually way more close. So, Metin Keskin has come into the chat to say, free Plastain, gay Israel, gay Netanyahu, gay Biden, gay Israel, gay ABD. I don't even know what ABD stands for. Everything's gay, just like me. AW64 with $5. Thank you very much. Says, could you rant about the show Insufficient Direction by Mayoko Ano? I can. It's very good. I have both read the manga and seen the show. I think I might actually own the manga somewhere. I'm not No, I read it online. Yeah, Insufficient Direction, Mayoko Ano, Hideaki Anno's wife, in case you didn't know. She is a very excellent manga artist. I believe Sugar Sugar Rune, is that the one? Her Magical Girl series that is like a fairly long running. They met in the early 2000s and have been, you know, married since. And I want to say Insufficient Direction came out in the 2010s, so maybe like 5 to 8 years into their marriage. And it's just the story of being married to the ultimate otaku, to like the the person who most famously is an otaku. And it's a fun lens into Hideaki Anno's life and personality, because he is very particular, and like you could look at somebody with a broad lens and fail to understand like what they are really about in specific. So, like, for instance, to call Hideaki Anno an otaku, what that word means is very different to different people in different generations, and he is like a first generation otaku. He's among the first people who is like legitimately obsessed with animation. But it's not that he has grown up and continued loving new anime and been obsessed with all this new stuff that comes out. He's still obsessed with the shows he was obsessed with in the 70s. You know, the stuff he grew up with. He's still talking about Space Battleship Yamato and Mobile Suit Gundam. You know, he's still obsessing about Ultraman and watching old reruns, and, you know, and it's particularly fun because there's a few portrayals of Ano from other people who know him that feel like they corroborate this one, but this one is so much more cute and like personable. Like, it really paints him as just a teddy bear. Like, the guy is just a teddy bear who spouts otaku knowledge and, you know, is has very particular tastes, but is, you know, easily shut down by his wife, who she draws herself as a baby in the manga, but her personality is always like the tough one. Like, you know, she's clearly playing the straight man role in the relationship. So it's really funny the way that she portrays them. Ano considers Insufficient Direction to be better than Evangelion. He thinks it better represents who he is, what he's about to the world than he was capable of achieving on his own. And he said, I know this just sounds like I'm saying this because it's my wife, but I really do think he believes that, because Evangelion is so complicated and difficult and has communicated so many different things to so many different people, whereas Insufficient Direction is clear and exacting, and it's it's like, oh, this is, I know who you are. I read this manga and I knew who this guy was. And again, like, if you see his portrayal in Blue Blazes, which is like more over the top and a lot less like forgiving or cutesy, because it's trying to paint him as like the rival, the villain, and like this stone cold kind of badass, within the context of the story, while also kind of making fun of him for being a big dweeb. It still feels like the same guy that Mayoko Ano was talking about, that has just become less intense because he's got a wife and, a happy life now. Like, he's got all the things he didn't grow up with, of like money and unconditional love of someone. So, and then, Shiro Bako also portrays him as like a guy with a fucking Yamato boat in his living room. Like a full-scale model, I mean to say. Well, not full-scale, obviously. That would be literal. Not one-to-one scale, but a very large boat. You know what I'm trying to fucking say, I think. I should have brought my vape with me. I might have to go get it momentarily. The sun goes down and I feel the oof. I think I was talking, somebody asked me earlier how was my day, and I was saying that, woke up kind of hungover, took a shower, packed up the car, and then I drove 3 hours back home, and then I spent the next 3 hours pretty much trying to get myself mentally ready to do a live stream. I was like, ugh, because I was feeling all the fatigue of the drive and the camping and the hangover, and running around like a spaz all the time. And I was like, oh, I know I'm not sleepy, but I'm exhausted. But I knew I had to do a stream, so I worked up the wherewithal. I listened to lots of analysis videos. I listened to even more discussions of the Kendrick and Drake beef from even more YouTubers. Hi B, my question is, would you rather raise a barn with the Amish or hopscotch with Greek hoplites? I have no idea. I don't even know what a Greek hoplite is. Where can you read Insufficient Direction? Mangafire.to has a lot of manga. I think that's where I've been reading manga lately. So it's not legal. I think it was on Crunchyroll at a time. I don't know if it still is. I think when I read it, I actually had a Crunchyroll subscription and read it there. It was like the only thing worth reading on Crunchyroll at the time. Devil's Backbone is ass. Parkway Brewing, the premier West Central VA brewing. I mean, I'll check it out. I don't love the beer from Devil's Backbone. I love everything else about the facility. It was an amazing campground. It was an amazing restaurant. The cigar lounge was cool. The people who worked there were cool. The whole area was cool. And it was a great access point to go and explore all the other breweries and cideries and stuff that are nearby. But yeah, like, the beer I got, or the cider I got across the street, I like substantially more than any of the beers I actually had at Devil's Backbone. I was not really impressed with any of them. And Devil's Backbone is like pretty commonplace IPA around here. Like, I don't know if this is true. I don't know how far this is true, but because I've mostly lived in Virginia and Kentucky for the last couple of years, like their 8-point and 16-point IPAs are some of the tall boys you will find in the most gas stations around here. So I kind of look at it as like, this is the IPA that can be the most cheaply made and distributed, in tall boys. And it's still more expensive than like any other beer you're gonna buy, but it's better than. I was gonna say it's better than Modelo, but I like Modelo. Well, I should say you drink it because it has high alcohol content. It's not that it's better than anything. Those Backbone's got a lot of those 8.5% beers. What is the percentage on this cider? 6%. That's pretty fucking good. Semi-dry. This cider's notes of clove, cinnamon, and spices are blended perfectly for this cool weather seasonal hard apple cider. Great tasting, warmed up or cold. Ugh, warmed up, no. Warm your soul by heating up just like a mulled cider for a classic hot toady. The fuck is a hot toady? Guess it's just when you heat up your blue toad cider. Never really compared price points between it and like Voodoo Ranger. I think they're about the same. That's also the big popular one. Like, Bird will usually, if he's gonna pick up some like, some tall boys, he's more likely to probably end up with a tropical beer hug or something like that than a. I don't know if that's the flavor he likes, but one of that brand, I think that's Voodoo Ranger. Or that might be another one, but those are all, common. Yoko's Anno's art is very appealing. I agree, and she has a lot of great manga. I have not read nearly enough of them, but her manga In Clothes Called Fat is a really hard-hitting story about just a woman's struggle with eating disorders. And it's pretty brutal. It's a very bleak story in that like almost no characters come out of it not looking like just terrible fucking people. Like the main character included is just ultimately kind of a bad person. It's a very unflattering portrayal of a eating disorder. But I kind of view it as a call out post of like, if you are this person, well, like, look in the mirror real quick. I understand. I don't know if I have a out and out eating disorder, but I definitely have a fucky diet. These days I've been consuming about as much beer as food. Which is to say, not very much of either. Alright, I'm gonna go grab my vape. So if there's any super chats when I get back, I'll rant about them. And if not, then, whatever. Talk to yourselves or amongst yourselves. Ask each other what's going on. Love thy neighbor and shit. You're all kind of similar. We're all people who tune into a Trixie stream. You must have, some social ground to stand on together. Alright, I'll be right back. Listen to the wind and shit. Hey, guess who's back? Word down. I got some burnt ass cookies that I saw on my way through. Look at the bottom versus the top on that. Same cookie. Shout out to Strange Weather for the shout out. Bedroom Bedrock 2016, motherfuckers. I hope you've heard my new shit. Rogue Alien Pet. My latest album. Self-produced. Best job I've done on self-production. Not just in my opinion, but period. It's actually the first listenable album that I have self-produced. I also released a new single, Bitches That Wanna Mosh, with the What's Going On B-side, which were actually two songs that Fat Eater and I made 2 whole years ago for a project that I did not get back to working on. And then I released a 42-track compilation of rescues and rarities, mostly songs that had been only on my SoundCloud so far, and then a whole bunch of stuff from some deleted albums, and also a couple of songs that had never been released before. I kind of liked how unlistenable your songs were, though. I mean, they're not suddenly like some shit you're gonna throw on at a party now, but you know, they're not quite pushing your brain out of your head, dissociative level, fucking what is going on, what am I listening to, the way that like The Witch in Gold is. Or yeah, The Witch in Gold's got to be my weirdest album, right? Like the most just like what the actual fuck is going on here. Or I guess The Unknown Tape. The Unknown Tape is like understandable weird. It's like weird in a way where you can like follow the train of thought of why it's weird like that. I think I could be talking out my ass. Maybe other people don't feel this way. I feel like the Witch in Gold is just fucking madness. Party Rap is out and this beef proves it. Songwriting, cops have leveled up big. Rune level 200. Chops not cops. Both though. Because people are going to be policing all your bars now. Everybody's going to be a fucking analyst. I'm telling you, I did this to culture. I turned everybody into an analyst, and that's where we're at now. It wasn't just me, not taking all the credit. Justin Hunt literally calls his audience analysts. I never even thought of that. As much as I pushed the word analysis, as much as I have always been the analysis person, I never even thought to just describe my audience as analysts. But that's the culture now. That's where culture is going. We're all going to have to learn to do analysis. Because it's obviously good survival strategy. Alright, I'm getting too many questions that I would have to get paid to answer. Did I listen to Boris Live album Rock Dream? I can't remember actually. I don't remember that one. I have seen Boris Live though, which was fucking awesome. Gary always said The Unknown Tape is still a favorite. Now it's perfectly understandable weird. You and Jesse changed the landscape forever. Jesse's, I think his influence is different. I don't think he was ever pushing analysis as an idea. Jesse changed the way people viewed like doing critical content on YouTube into like, oh, this can be treated like a film. You know, like this can be treated like an art piece in and of itself. And I tried to copy that and really failed, in my opinion. I've never been good at the cinematic vlogging style that he did because I didn't have that kind of big vision on the visual level, like literal vision. I have fun, random ideas. Like, I'm good at going, I'm going to put the camera over here and film myself in this angle, and that looks neat. But, like, there's not depth to that, you know? All of my depth is in my thinking. The words I use in my brain. So that's my focus now, which is why I've been doing these live streams. The draw of me is hearing me talk. Doesn't really matter what I talk about. It's the way I use words, the word choices, and the perspective. But, it takes a lot of self-security to talk unbroken at a stream for hours out of every day. Like, not just security in, like, my appearance, my ability to speak, that I will have time, that my equipment works, like, but also security that I'm not going to say stuff that I'm going to end up regretting or is going to make me look stupid, you know. I'm not recording myself at a bad time. But at the same time, I wouldn't mind if I ended up being treated as, like if the things I said were actually so, like, dumb or upsetting or weird that it made people see me as, like, a lolcow. As long as they were paying me, I'd be fine with that. I know there are people who are less culturally respected than me who make a lot more money because people want the chance to make fun of them. And I'm like, damn, come over this way. But, like, I think people are afraid to do that kind of stuff to me because they don't think they'd win if I came back at them, you know. Like, if I'm not willing to play the role of the dumbass, you know, like, if I always whip crack back at whoever is trying to take a crack, it stops being fun for them, I think. So that's why I think I struggle to be on the I struggle to not end up being the bully in an interaction, because ultimately my tenacity and will to just be angry, incisive, and evil, and to get analytical and into somebody's head and really start fucking with their self-perception and their reputation, it makes me a hard person to want to laugh at. But we'll see. I've clearly been trying to pull ops in every single one of these live streams I've done. I've been very clearly trying to create drama and pull ops, so, you know, we'll see what happens. I'm not trying to keep sending me on the internet about me or whatever. Did you hear that Eric July finally responded to those diss tracks you made? Like, that would be awesome. He didn't. He won't. Eric July is too much of a coward to respond to my diss tracks. Low-cow opportunity would have been the unveiling Trixie phase. I mean, if I wanted to, like, play, like, if I wanted to make myself seem dumb, I don't know, like, I wasn't doing anything interesting during that phase, and if I filmed myself, it would have been lolcow behavior, you know? I've never been interesting enough. The only thing I could do that people seem to find interesting is to speak unbroken at a camera for long stretches of time. Or write a script and then voice it as though I were just speaking unbroken. If creating drama was the goal, you definitely haven't been going hard enough. But why even do that? Jesse's making a living just being a cool guy, no drama. Just because Jesse is a cool guy. I'm not. I am evil. I don't want to... I'm bored of being nice. I just am not interested in that. I don't think it gets anything done. I don't think I'm good at it. I don't think me being nice helps anybody or gets my voice out there or makes me any money, you know? I'm poor. I'm very poor. So, like, I live as though I weren't, but that's going to catch up to me eventually. So, if this whole, if sitting around being nice or whatever isn't doing anything for me, not even on a spiritual or emotional level, um, what is the point of doing it? Do Dick Masterson and Keemstar get along? No. I do not believe so. You're cooler than you think, and you don't have to be nice, just be real. Is Jesse nice? He's actively aggressive towards his audience, but he's always real. Well, I'm always real. I don't have a difficulty with that. What have I done that's unreal as of late? Being nice would get you on Mother's Basement level of fame, I suppose. I mean, that guy's not nice. He's not generally a nice person. It's not about being nice. Nobody who's nice is successful about being nice. People who are successful are ruthless. People who are successful take what they want. And they, tell people who are trying to fuck with their money to step off. Like, there's not, blood sports content creators are a thing. Yeah, but there's nobody. You have to understand. I can't go to war for no reason. Like, it can't be. I might want to have beef, but I'm not going to just. I can't just make beef exist. I don't have beef. I don't have somebody who it makes sense for me to go after in that way. I don't have like a peer who is a foil. And there's a couple people I could think of who like I could see beefing with, but there'd have to be a good reason to start it. Like, for instance, if somebody made a big analysis video that got a lot of attention and was really controversial, and there were people who really hated this person's opinions and they wanted me to rebuke them. I tried to do this with I tried to start this kind of beef with fucking the Critical Drinker, but it just didn't go anywhere. Like 2 years ago, I hated his, or no, was it last year? Whenever the fuck the Thor movie came out, Thor: Love and Thunder, when that came out, I thought his videos sucked because it was obvious he hadn't seen the movie, and I made a whole video, like an hour and a half long, breaking down his review and how wrong he was and how clear it was he didn't see the movie. And even though all the commenters were like, yeah, get him, this is clearly true, it amounted to nothing. It didn't get a ton of views, it didn't start any drama, and like, the next video he made was about a movie that he clearly liked and did watch, and his review was fine, so it wasn't like I could keep hammering him every week on every review he does. It was just that review was really bad. And I might think that guy sucks in general, but like, if I can't even get people to care about me making an hour and a half long breakdown of why his video sucks, then it's just not, it's not working. It's not a good beef. I need my audience to be mad at somebody. Puppy Paws with $20 says, much love to you. Much love to you as well. Thank you so much. That is very generous. If I had a fanfare music, I would play it, but I don't. But that is excellent. At grifting that has ever existed. I am the absolute worst grifter in the world. You still really like Weed Reeb Rhythm? Yeah, I like that one too. That's why the compilation albums, because I've got SoundCloud Rescues and now Rescues and Rarities, which are both mostly SoundCloud Rescues albums, but they're both pretty much organized. Yeah, I keep my connection. Yeah, I'm still cool with Riley. I just hung out with him at C2E2 2 weeks ago, I think. That's what got me started on this whole vertical live streaming thing, because Mint Salad's been doing it very successfully. And on Saturday at C2E2, like 2 weeks ago, if you find her stream, I'm in it a bunch of times. I followed her up a sand dune at Indiana Dunes, and it has like 100,000 views or something like that. She's made a lot of money doing these live streams, so that was what made me interested. Particularly the fact that you can do this anywhere. Like, she was just walking around and like getting pretty consistent connection and viewership like all day. And she was streaming while driving. She was streaming while, again walking up dunes. She was streaming throughout the convention. Like, I'm sure the connection probably got interrupted a bunch of times. With Mint Stream, you're there for the tits, so if the video stutters a little bit, it's not as big of a deal as if mine does. Yes, I was at C2E2, and only sort of briefly. So the story there was that Riley and Mint got us tickets, and we were all going there mostly to meet Ethan Van Sciver, who was going to be there, and then he got kicked out of the convention. So, Bird and I, we were like, when we found out he wasn't going to be there, we were like, fuck, do we even, like, want to go to this? Like, they kicked out the guy we were there to see kind of seems wrong, almost. Like, we should be boycotting it or something. And then, but we were planning, Bird had already taken vacation time, so we were planning to use that week one way or another to visit some national parks, and there was like a line of them on the way. So like we visited Shenandoah Valley, then we visited New River Gorge in West Virginia, then we we stayed at Indiana Dunes, which is a state and national park just like an hour outside of Chicago, which is where C2E2 is. So, we spent more of our time hanging out at the dunes, having a good time at the dunes, and then basically just popped into the convention on Saturday to see what it was all about, which it was huge. It was crazy huge. We were not expecting it to be such a massive convention. Blew some money on some comic books, hung out around the whole Comic Skate crowd in their little after party, met some people, schmoozed a little bit, hung out with Mint, Frog Tony, we spent a lot of time with, and then I think Bird and I probably got shit-faced drunk and argued. Not that unlike last night. It's not good when Bird and I both get really drunk at the same time. If one of us gets really drunk, the other person can handle it. But if we both get really drunk, we cannot handle one another both being ridiculous. But yeah, we then, on the way home from C2E2, we camped in Ohio, and that was cool. And then bolted on home. But yeah, so we weren't at C2E2 for very long. But we were most of the time live on Mint's stream. Welcome, Ellen. Greetings. Good arrival. Oh. My brain. The hangover keeps reaching its tendrils back up into my brain. Every time I get spaced out for a second. Also, this thing I'm sitting in is not fucking comfortable at all. It's normally got like a cushion in it. I'm realizing the cushion is not in it. That would probably help. Instead, it's just grinding on my ass bone. You were only there Friday? Yeah, I would have been only there Saturday. So we would have missed each other, but Friday night I was sleeping in the dunes. With fuck. Oh god. I'm dying. You drank some yesterday, we got no hangover. Lucky you. I drank a lot yesterday. From very early in the day. Because I was camping at a brewery. So. God damn, I really got something caught in my throat there. Gary always with $10. I continue to support you for art, not drama. Books, music, reviews, casts, all of it. I might be the minority, though, but people did want to buy your light novel. Art is more sustainable than beef. Super chats equals money to, or SCs equals money to? I'm not sure what that means. Well, Gary, I would consider drama to be art, personally. I don't know. I don't know if you haven't been paying attention to the whole Kendrick Drake beef, but to me, this is kind of the highest form of art I've maybe ever seen. I have never been more invested than in any piece of art. I think in the last God knows how long that I am of this beef. It is the most interesting thing I've ever witnessed. That's why I'm so deeply, dramatically jealous of it. I think if I was going, it's also why I'm like I can't just pick a random battle for no reason. Like I'm not gonna start drama just to start drama. But there is drama out there. There are people who should be called. Like, consider my whole career is just calling out shitty art. That's it. That's all I've ever been successful at doing, really, is calling out when art is bad. Including in my book. Kusomega is about bad light novels. Just as much as any other video I've made, it's a novel about being someone who writes bad novels and about the insecurity of being a person who writes bad novels, you know? So, like, to me, it's always been drama. It's always been drama with other fans, mostly. You know, it's pretty particularly been that. Like, the Sword Art Online video was I'm angry because everybody keeps telling me this show is good and I think it sucks. The Asterisk War sucks was I'm angry because this whole genre is popular and I think it sucks. You know, Dear Crunchyroll Stop, self-explanatory. Like, these have all been drama. And I know you're talking about the books, the music, the reviews, the cast. There's so much drama in all of that. You know, again, Kusomega, literally about bad writing. So was my first book. I wrote this light novel in like a day. It sucks and I hate it. You know, the music is all drama about myself. It's all about my personal drama. It's called, like, to me, the name Trial of the Golden Witch, essentially, for me to be the Golden Witch means that my music is about me being on trial. It is all about my trials, you know? So, to me, that is just as much drama as, you know, if I write a song about the feelings that somebody made me feel, you know, then, like, that's drama. So, like, and a ton of my songs are directed at very specific people. A lot of them know it. You know, a lot of it is stuff that was made to call somebody out. And even if I didn't use their name, or meant to call a whole bunch of people out. You know, fake bitches all looking at me like I don't know what I'm doing when I've been pulling celery since creativity since 2013. Oh man, I fucked up the bars. Whatever, my new song, the next one I'm releasing, I just uploaded it to all the streaming platforms, so it'll probably post in the next couple of days to Spotify and all that. It's called By Daybreak, and it's sort of my spiritual successor, I guess, to that song, to that concept of me just kind of waking up creatives and giving them a big slap in the face and being like, you know, get real about yourself and what you're doing. So, again, everything I do well, I think, is a call-out post. I am a whistleblower, a journalist, you know, like, that's the core of my content to me. You know, the reviews, the podcasts, starting shit with society and social constructs. I would think that most of what I say, most of the opinions I share would make somebody angry because it's contradicting what they think, you know? But anyway. You said fair, but like you said, you don't have anyone to beef with. It could be art, but you can't make it happen in a lab. Well, that's what I'm not, it's not that I'm trying to make it happen in a lab. It's more like I'm trying to find it because I think it already exists out there. Like, how do I put it? Sometimes I create something and it's like totally generative, where it's like, this is just an idea I'm having, nobody else would have had it, it's based on my experiences, it's based on my perspective. And then there's times where I create something because it's an idea that somebody had to do, like that idea exists ethereally between a bunch of people, but nobody's realized it yet. And so you can just bring it into being, you know? And, like, I'm trying to think of a good example of that I could, like, use concretely. My video, Is There Meaning in Subverting Shonen Tropes, for instance. Like, it's one of my favorite videos I had made at the time, for sure. I think it holds up pretty well. And it was basically a response to the fact that people kept using the word deconstruction all the time. You know, people kept saying, oh, this show's a deconstruction, it's deconstructing shonen tropes, because it's so different from all the other shonen. And I basically just proved how, like, the things that shows were being praised for as subversive are actually just core to the genre. That, like, almost everything in the genre is subversive in that specific way. And so it's not deconstructive to have those subversions if they're, like, just a part of the genre, you know? That whole argument, that whole concept, I'm not the first person to basically suggest that, but I was collecting, like, all of the information. And it was a video I couldn't even write by myself. Like, I had to contact people who I knew that knew One Piece and Dragon Ball, you know, on a deeper level where they could give me, like, examples. So I was trying to collect all of the data and be like, this is just truth. It's my perspective on the truth, but it is the truth. And so when it comes to something like starting drama, right? If I were just like, I'm gonna go find something shitty and shit on it, you know, to start drama, that's one thing. But I know something is going to come to me. It might not exist yet, but I just want everyone to keep their eyes open, because this happens every so often. And I can think of examples. This is not me starting drama, me saying this, but this is just me presupposing a possibility. Remember when Lily Orchard made that big Steven Universe video that pissed off a ton of fucking people? Now, at the time, I didn't care. I have never finished Steven Universe, so I could not make a counter-argument. Other people did. I watched long counter-argument videos about that video. That, to me, is the kind of drama I'm talking about. Or like H-Bomber Guy calling out, and Todd in the Shadows calling out James Somerton for plagiarism. Like, it didn't, particularly with the Todd in the Shadows one, where he's calling him out on just all the fake shit. Just like stuff he just whole cloth made up. Again, that's not something that was personal to Todd, and he even made that very clear. He's like, I'm not a drama YouTuber, I wouldn't be involved in this, but someone had to be the one to point out what this guy is doing, and I happen to be in a good position to do it, so I'm gonna do it. And I know he doesn't like having those opportunities because it feels somehow like skeevy or whatever. I don't care. I like the skeevy feeling. I like that. I don't care about that aspect of it. The moralism, the like, oh, but it feels wrong. No. It feels wrong that people are out there doing fuck shit, you know? Like, it feels right to correct the fuck shit. So, from my perspective, it's like, I would be more than happy to be more of a, you know, more upfront. And the only reason I think my content was never treated that way is that I'm talking about anime. Like, most of my career, I've been talking about works from creators who don't speak my language. And so they never hear my critique, and so there is no response. There's no rebuttal. There's never been Reki Kawahara making a fucking diss track about me, you know? Like, and there just wouldn't be. And that was part of the appeal for me. It's like, I can kind of say whatever I want, and it's never going to hurt anybody's feelings, because they're not going to fucking see this shit, you know, for the most part. But I kind of feel like that's also weak sauce, right? Like, isn't it kind of a shame that none of those people could ever rebut what I had to say? That, like, I convinced all these Westerners to feel a certain way about all these Easterners' art, that they don't even know that I'm saying that stuff, much less, like, having a counter-argument. I think it's playing a lot more fair for me to fuck with people who will definitely see it and will have to respond, because it will change the way that people look at them. The way that what Kendrick said about Drake changed the way that all of culture looks at Drake. And Drake could not rectify it even with a response. Like, I know there's people out, like, Kendrick didn't want to do that to Drake. He made that very clear. But as soon as the time came, he made 10 fucking tracks and revitalized his career and revitalized the whole genre of hip-hop. So I think if I want to revitalize the whole genre of YouTube analysis, there's going to have to be some fire. And I am the Golden Fire Witch. I am the god of hellfire. What I would give for is beef between B and Nobuhiro Watsuki. That would be great. That is somebody I would love to beef with, but I don't speak Japanese, you know. He's never going to hear me. He's never going to hear me talk shit about him. I got $2 here from Hiten Shono... High Tension House. Okay, I got it. I got there. $2. Also, do you fuck with Mac Hami? I have never heard. I assume that's a musician. I have not heard any of their music, or if that's not a musician, I don't even know. Honestly, the answer is I have no idea who Mac Hami is. I know I've seen that name. That's as far as I can get. I'm sorry I don't have more to say. But I have never heard Mac Hami or seen or whatever it is. Good blood sport fighter needs a moral claim and a goal, if you will. Like, if you did find your opponent and have the dialogue, what would you want the audience to understand from having listened? Yeah, that's true. Gary said, I personally don't think it's a shame, but that's just me. The value I saw in your early work, the takedowns, was that they made me smarter. And that's a big part of it too, right? Like, so the reason I've ranted so much about Drake versus Kendrick is that it's caused me to think a lot about the implications of what Kendrick is accusing Drake of. And if you saw the Trixie Pilled rant where I'm just like going in on billionaires and all that, and it's not that any of this is necessarily new thoughts to me, but it's watching the cultural needle move where a guy who actually does know, who actually is in the industry and does know what's going on and is literally just whistleblowing on another guy in the industry, it's a cultural moment that makes me go, yeah, everything I thought was true is true. And, like, we should pursue it even further, and we should double down on spreading these messages of, like, this is what we suspect, and now we're getting more and more and more evidence towards it, you know? And so it makes you want to speak out even further. Now, of course, people like me, journalists, nobody trusts us. We'll never get any primary information without putting our lives at risk. So I'm basically just a tertiary node of, like, cultural information, but I'm pretty good at digesting. I am a mama bird. I'm a very good, I go out there, I fucking eat the slop, and I vomit it back into other people's mouths, like, so you don't have to go hunt for it, you know? But, I feel like that metaphor actually stopped making sense somewhere along the way. Anyway. It's enough self-justification for my madness and rage. What advice do I have for an aspiring mangaka? Draw every day, no matter what. You know, work on your comic as much as possible, but if you can't bring yourself to draw the comic itself, just draw other stuff. It doesn't have to be another comic, but just draw, like, I don't know, draw characters you're going to have later in the story, or, like, draw, you know, just draw cool things that inspire you to think about your story, and read Dragon Ball, or watch Dragon Ball. Watch Dragon Ball while you draw. Yeah. Watch Dragon Ball. Or read Dragon Ball. Do both. I don't care. Elon Musk's son? Who? Which one? He has a bunch of them, right? Isn't there one that's named like some obscure fucking unreadable thing? Watch and read Dragon Ball simultaneously. You could do that too. Try to match up. Try to do it like, you know, at the same time. Well, I guess that's exactly what simultaneously means, but you know what I mean. Like, don't just read the manga at normal manga reading speed while the show is on, because then you'll finish the manga first. You gotta slowly look back down every time the image changes to go to the next panel, you know? The Burial Untrue reference, son, lol. I've only heard Burial's Untrue a few times. It is not an album I like that much, so I don't get any references to it, if that's Oh, is that what the name is? Is his name a reference to a Burial song? For real? I didn't even know that. I thought it was just some random fucking math equation or some bullshit. That's so funny. Do I still listen to Death Grips? Yeah. Yeah. You know, Death Grips be coming on the shuffle. Hey, no wins now. Come out, your shit is gone. Bitch. Go back to tangent. Some joints in the spit. Post scripts and shit. Post chicken in the eggs and dicks and shit. Put it up. Pass the sheriff stick. Be a reality. Be the freak you wanna see. Just don't follow me. I'm on a journey to the center of the three. Drag your fucking chain through the bike lane. Everybody say, ah! I got this pregnant state. Stay surrounded by long hair. Plethora of maniacs and spiral stairs. Make you want to break in the Apple store. Sink or swim. Who fucking cares? Go, can't handle this shit. I know I skipped a lyric in there. Do I think they're actually going to put out something new? I don't know. They might do it in a mysterious, backwards way or something. I feel like there's something I haven't... Like, after Steroids, they had, like, another... Like, a mega song or something that I fucking don't even think I've heard more than once. And, I can never remember Steroids. Like, I know I've heard it a bunch of times, and I know I really like listening to it, but it's so fucking chaotic and intense, I cannot remember any of it. It's just a blur of noise. The last thing I actually remember them putting out was that, like, 10 minutes of just drums. And that was when I realized how Death Grips had been making all their music, was just like using a digital drum kit and plugging funny effects into it and having Zach Hill go apeshit on it, and then, like, you know, Flatlander adds some weird shit on top of that. Elon has 6 sons. You're the oldest, rapping like daddy. Are you saying I am a child of Elon Musk? At that, a son of Elon Musk? No. Elon Musk, first of all, as a trans woman, Elon Musk is an enemy of mine. I think if the world is a just place, he will be raped. I think that's the only justice that can come to Elon Musk. It's a good raping. Because he's a billionaire. Billionaires should all be raped. That's my stance on billionaires. Ironically, my favorite Death Grip song is a mashup with Kavinsky called No Night Call. I don't know that one. Elon Musk is a bad guy. Not a good dude. But my personal beef with him is mostly that he fucked up Twitter. And I can't leave Twitter. I've been on there too long. I've tried to quit Twitter many times before. It's an addiction. It's just a part of it's a part of the way that I live my life. If it was ever to be shut down one day, I would change. But since it's still there, even though it's a hollow shell of its... Actually, it's been fine. It's actually kind of been better. But it still sucks because I don't want to give money to that guy. Actually, the worst thing is that he made it so cis is a slur on Twitter. and you cannot say it without your tweets getting blocked, which is fucking unfathomably cowardly and strange. So, you know. Make a Threads account. Threads. Is that the Instagram thing? I don't even remember what Threads is. Does anybody use that? Is that a thing people do? I don't know. With Twitter, it's just that is where my people are. You know, like I guess it would be different if everybody that I followed had actually mass exodus to some other website, but that has not happened. Um, Everybody I follow on Twitter is still on Twitter, so there has not been a competition for me to jump to. The fucked up part is I pay $3 a month for Twitter. You wouldn't know this because I don't have the check mark because I didn't apply for it because I don't want to signal, like, I don't want a big sign that says I'm a douchebag next to my name at all times, but I do want to be able to upload infinite length of video and put all the time codes for those videos in the tweet. Stop going on about Daddy Elon. Get your forehead off his belly button, dude. And then I'll shut up about him. I gotta piss. Welcome back, me. I'm back. I feel like the light is somehow keeps evaporating further and further from this lantern. Maybe the battery's dying. I can't even take credit for that cold ass shit I said about the forehead on the belly button. That's something Buckley said about Drake stands in the video. I thought it was fucking hilarious. I was just waiting for the opportunity. Jealousy got with Grimes. Grimes. California. That's all I think when I think Grimes. It was way too loud for me to be doing it 9:30 outside my parents' bedroom. Elon and Grimes did in fact divorce, and then she was memeing around with the Communist Manifesto. Thought I was still camping. No, I'm sitting out in a swing in the backyard. Bird's got to work in the morning. He had Monday off, which is why we were out camping. Basically, anytime he manages to get 2 days off in a row, which doesn't happen very often, we try to make that into a camping trip. If like last week he just had 1 day off, and we camped nearby. And it was all right, but it ended up being not really worth not really worth having gone to the trouble. Although we do get better sleep usually when we're camping than we do at home. But I'm feeling like gay ass. Well, is that like a good? Is that good or bad? Like you're just feeling like ass, but because you're gay, it's gay ass, or you're feeling like ass that is gay, or like a pounded ass, like you're feeling like an ass that got gay fucked, maybe. What is this creepy shit? Why is there a face floating in darkness? Look, I got a lantern. I am being lit just by a little lantern here, and the camera, I'm using the inside facing camera on the phone, which does not pick up light very well, so I have to have the thing like right next to me for it to even light me enough for you to see me at all. But it do be mad creepy though. TG Rex is really leaning in on the transphobia, which is a great way to get banned on my channel. I was having fun with you when you were trying to keep it a little funny, but now you're just being a weird creep, so you get the ban. Eat a bag of dicks in hell, you dumb, stupid bitch. Kill yourself. Wait, I'm not allowed to say that on YouTube. That was a joke. But you should. Gay ass. In Minecraft, of course. Yeah. People don't do that stuff in real life. It's implied that it's in Minecraft when you even say it on the internet. That's the way we should treat this. Sir, I said it on the internet. That means that I meant in Minecraft. It's the implication. All the internet is Minecraft. I would believe that about Fortnite. I would believe that Fortnite had the ability to just swallow the whole internet. As far as I know, there is nothing that you can do on the internet that you cannot do in Fortnite. I could be wrong. That's the impression I've gotten from clips I've seen. Well, I'm just gonna sit here staring like a creepy ghost until I get another rant request. Oh, creepy ghost. Hey, creepy ghost. Hey, hi. Creepy ghost. You guys like the creepy ghost stream? Creepy ghost stream. My fucking neck hurts. I've kind of been like looking down at the camera. It could be like I would have to hold my arm up though to not do that. It's not a comfortable spot to have done this. Convenient. It's a convenient spot to do a live stream. But it's not a comfortable spot. You gotta get a better spot for when I don't want to walk around the neighborhood because it's nighttime.
Just watched Akira for the first time about a month ago. Had a dude in my anime group claim there was no plot and then state that it was his opinion there was no plot. Made me feel like ranting. Yeah, that's funny. That is funny. It's the difficulty with language, right? Everybody has their own definition of every fucking word. Why do you get better sleep camping? I'm not entirely sure. We sleep on the same sleeping pads, but I think it's probably just the, like, well, it tends to be that if we're camping somewhere, it's quiet compared to just being in town. You know, you don't have, like, the buzz of fans or AC units or cars. Sometimes there's car noise, but usually it's further away. Airplanes, trains, boats, all of which are here. But also, people, housemates, you know, like people out camping are not as likely to wake you up because like not going to be watching TV at any point. Although we usually wake up earlier than the rest of the family anyway, so that's not really an issue. I think it's just a comfier environment. You know, just feels nicer to be outdoors. Feels healthier than sleeping indoors. That's how you feel about Grave of the Fireflies, just sad scene, then transition to the next sad scene, then everyone is unalive. I felt that way when I first had seen that movie because I think it's a movie you kind of almost don't want to think about because it's so fucking depressing and sad. But what that movie is about the death of the Japanese identity. It's about the death of lineage and about the death of... Like, if you really want to understand the plot of the movie, you need to pay attention to the details of what the characters care about and what they're losing in specific. Like, the movie is about them losing their lives, but that's not what they're concerned about. They don't understand that, the kids. You know, they are concerned about the loss of identity, the loss of promise, the loss of a future they thought they were going to have. And ultimately the futility of ever having believed in that in the first place. So like that whole identity they thought they would have was a lie. It was never possible. You know, it was unsustainable. So I guess I would say it's a movie about the unsustainability of the Japanese identity pre-World War II. We do not belong in pods. It is true. Literally everything is better in camping. That's also true. Except for the bug situation. Although finding bugs is easier to deal with because you have, you know, infinite space to fling them off into. Using a bathroom when camping is the only negative I could think of. It's usually, I mean, we usually camp at campgrounds, so there is a bathroom. It's not like we're digging holes in the woods. We did that literally one time. We've only done one time where we boondocked, and that was in Arizona. There's some shorts on this channel about it. But we are always camping, usually at campgrounds, where, particularly, you know, last night, Devil's Backbone, they had a nice bathroom, so, yeah. Using the bathroom, not usually a problem. I mean, you get up in the middle of the night, have to piss. It's usually dark. You could just piss right next to your tent. You know, so if you gotta shit, you run to the bathroom. Sleeping on a sleeping pad or a sleeping mat is better for your back than sleeping on a bed. I would believe that. But I usually have problems with my neck and shoulders. I struggle to find like a pillow that works for me that doesn't just leave me with searing neck and shoulder pain, which I've got right now. And I'm starting to pass out. I don't know if you've noticed, my eyes are literally closed. I am just starting to pass out. Thank you, Sock Rabbit, with the $2, and you just wrote Watamote. I don't know if you are asking me to rant about Watamote, or if you just wanted to say the word Watamote. But that is a very Watamote way to bring up Watamote. I've got a couple videos about it, if you haven't seen them. I have a video called Why We Love Kuroki Tomoko. That's basically my general review of the show. It's mostly, you know, It's just that the character is so good. Obviously, like, the story is almost totally secondary to just presenting the character. And then I have another video called "Stop Telling People That You're a Piece of Shit," which is about the fact that in my Kuroki Tomoko video, I leave an out for the audience where I'm like, yeah, you know, we can all relate to her. We've all been through some of this experience, but she's so over the top. She's so ridiculously awkward that nobody could possibly relate to all of these experiences. And there's like a bunch of comments from people who are like, "Nuh-uh, I really am that awkward. I really am that bad." And I'm like, guys, I mean, I believe you, but this is you saying that out, like you leaning in on that, that's where the problems lie. Like, that's where you're causing the issue here. Like, so yeah, the video is about just stop telling people you're a piece of shit. Like, we know you're a piece of shit. If you say it, you're just doubling down on it, you know. What is all this crazy fanfare that's happening next to, like, next to the chat? There's like a bunch of 100s and like smiley faces. I don't know if that's something y'all are doing, like if somebody's clicking on a button that makes a thing go, or if it just happens apropos of nothing. Is this something someone is spamming emote to hype you up? Okay, I feel it. I feel the hype. How do I spam emojis? I want to spam emojis. Where's the spam emojis button? God damn it. Can I even... I don't even think I can interact... I don't even think I can type in chat, actually. Can I even fucking type in the chat? I don't think I can. I don't think I can... I don't think I can type in the chat. I can start a poll. Hold on. Alright, we're doing a quick poll. I'm gonna ask gay or fug nuggling. That's the poll. Alright, we've got so far 50-50 split. Oh, fug nuggling's pulling ahead. Oh, there's a lot of fug nuggling going on in my chat right now. Oh, well, gay's coming back around. Oh, gay's really making a comeback. Fug nuggling is starting to lag. Oh my god. Such a comeback happening. We're tied. We are tied. Nope, fug nuggling is pulling into the lead. Will it change? Oh, we're back at a tie. 16 votes. There's 39 viewers. Oh, somebody unvoted and somebody keeps unvoting and revoting. And now they've stopped because they got called out. Okay. Well, it's sitting at gay with a slight advantage with 17 votes. And we're ending the poll because 1 minute has passed. There you go. Gay. The answer is gay. Fug nuggling at a slight loss. No more fug nuggling tonight. Gay. Alright. We're gonna wrap this up. I'm fucking passing out. I'm falling asleep right where I sit. This has been a good, successful live stream. Good way to wrap up a day of mostly staring forward straight. You know, I drove 3 hours. It's fairly exhausting. I drove 3 hours even having, as I described earlier, damaged my arms last night. But there was no way Bird could drive. He was fucking KO'd hungover. So it was up to me. And I succeeded with aplomb. Oh, Bird's still awake. Okay, I'm good.